Disclaimer: the views expressed on this episode of Perspective Platoon with Prateek are solely the opinions of the host and the guest. The content of the conversation is not reflective of the institutions or establishments mentioned therein. Take all these opinions with a pinch of salt and a dash of lime if needed. Namaskara. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whenever you're watching or listening, and welcome to this episode of Perspective Platoon with Prateek. My guest this week is Cassie Augustin. Cassie and I have known each other for close to 3 years, I want to say, and in that time we've had quite a few conversations in passing, but none as long as this one. So in this episode, we spoke about her home country of Haiti, or as I learned, it's pronounced as Haiti. We also spoke about her sentiments of feeling like a global citizen, our connection with nature and Earth, and much more. There's a lot of tidbits in this episode that I'm sure that you can pick out and sort of relate to in more ways than one. Um, so I hope that you guys enjoy this episode. And without further ado, I present to you Cassie Augustine on this episode of Perspective Platoon with Prateek. Hey Cassie, how's it going?
Hi, I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Thank you for asking. Just to
Mhm.
kick us off, like let the people know who you are, some of your interests, some of your likes and dislikes. Yeah, let the people know who you are.
Well, I'm Cassie, and thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to come here and to share my thoughts.
Yeah, no worries.
I really love your podcast. I'm really excited, to listen to it. So,
Thank you.
yes, so I'm Cassie. I'm just an international student at UCO,
Hmm.
Central University of Oklahoma, and yeah. So I'm studying nutrition, and what some interest of mine is to write, dance. Um, I do hair for a hobby. Well, kind of a side gig, but
Yeah, yeah.
modeling, I really enjoy doing that. It's a way for
Hmm.
me to express myself, and
Hmm.
I do spoken words.
Hmm.
So yeah, so this is a little pit bit of pictures of me.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah. So where are you from originally? You said you're an international student, but where are you from
Yes.
originally?
I'm from Haiti.
Gotcha.
The Caribbean.
The Caribbean. Yay,
Yay!
let's go. The Caribbean. The
Yes.
Caribbean. And what are some of your
Mm-hmm.
likes and dislikes? Are there things that, and this can be very mundane, very random, like things like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, I don't like doing laundry or something like that. What are some of your likes and dislikes in that sense?
I actually don't like doing laundry.
Yeah. Samantha.
Crazy.
Yeah. She had the same thing too. Samantha, who was the first guest, she said the same thing too, that she was not a
Yes.
fan of doing laundry.
I am not a fan of doing laundry. I don't like doing laundry. I don't like folding laundry. I just don't like it. And if you ask me for anything I don't like to do, I'll say laundry because I don't like doing it at all. See, I keep repeating myself. That's how bad I don't. I really don't like it. Like I don't know how to separate white from color. I just put everything together. Then I get my clothes messed up, and it's like, oh my god. I
Yeah.
just want to pay someone to do my laundry.
Fair enough. I understand that because I feel
Yeah,
that too. Sometimes I'm like, oh, I don't want to do laundry. I'm a little lazy today. And then you
right.
end up having to do it anyway because you need clothes to wear. Otherwise, what are you going to wear,
Yeah.
right? So you have to do
I
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like some people they don't like doing laundry, but you know, or but they like for me, I love doing dishes.
Oh,
So
okay. Interesting.
yeah, I don't know why. For me, it's therapeutic. I just take the dishes and keep washing. Like I really love it. But
Mm.
laundry, nope.
What about dishes is therapeutic?
I don't know why. It's just like when I'm doing it, when I'm cleaning, it's like I'm cleaning my life. Yeah, I'm just going through my day. What did I do? Where did I mess up? Let's get these dishes clean. Like, I really love cleaning dishes. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Mhm.
Interesting. I haven't heard a lot of people say that because a lot of the times they're
Yeah.
like, oh, dishes, like, oh, I don't want to do dishes, you
Yeah.
know? Yeah, yeah. I mean, maybe some of
Yeah.
it is because that, like, I used to work at the food court on the university campus, and over there too, people are like, ah,
Mm-hmm.
dishes. I don't want to do dishes.
Right.
Like not a lot of people are enthusiastic about doing dishes. So I
Yeah.
kind of, it's interesting that you like doing dishes. Cool.
Yeah. Oops.
It's all good.
Sorry.
No, it's all good. No worries. No worries. No worries. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
go ahead. Go ahead.
for me, it's like it's an achievement after you're done cleaning all those dishes and you take time to arrange them. It's like it makes me feel good.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Mm,
Mm-hmm.
interesting. Yeah, no, I like that. I
Yeah.
like that because you said like a part of it is about cleaning and you sort of get to get
Mm-hmm.
into your thoughts and sort of see course correct. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. That's cool.
It is. It
Yeah.
is.
Let's dig deeper into where you come from originally. Um, how do you pronounce it? Like we all like, and at least the English language, we pronounce it as Haiti, but is there a different way of pronouncing it? And could you just talk to us a little more about the country itself, the place itself?
Right. So I pronounce it IT. But
Gotcha.
when I just came here and I say I'm from IT, they're like Tahiti, or they will say something else. I'm like, no, people, I'm from IT, right?
Gotcha. Mm.
But they never get it. Like they never got it right, you know. So I had to say, okay, how do you say IT in English? So I was like,
Mm.
Haiti. I was like, oh, Haiti, earthquakes, you know.
Yeah.
That's what I got the whole time. I was like, yes, earthquake,
Oh
January
no.
12th, 2010. Yeah.
Yikes. Yeah.
So yes, with my country, I have a good relationship with my country and
Mm.
I really miss it a lot all the time. But I know I came here for a reason. So
Mm.
I keep telling myself that and knowing that it's the type of love you love your country so much, but you can't really rely on the country or you
Mm.
can't really just, oh, I'm going to give up everything, all my dreams just to go back just because I love the country. It's like
Mm.
you love the country, but you got to love yourself too,
Right.
you
Right. Right.
know?
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. I get what you're saying.
So that's how I feel about my country. Like, I am so proud to be a Haitian girl, you know.
Mm.
I've learned so many stories of people when they come from Haiti. When they get here, they say they're from somewhere else. They lie about it, or
Mm.
because I don't want to be from Haiti. I don't want the pity, like when somebody look at me and they're like, "Oh my God, the earthquake! Oh, were you
Mm.
okay?"
Mm.
And their facial just change. Their facial expression is just different, you know. But I've learned to grow out of it and to just embrace everything, the
Mm.
good, the ugly, the everything about my country.
Mm.
And a lot of things, social media or even the media, you
Right.
know,
Mm.
the news, they show you it's not really the truth. There is some good,
Mm-hmm.
there is the beauty in the chaos, you know. So
Mm.
yeah, that's why I can take the whole day talking about my
No,
my
as you
country
should. As
because
you should.
yes,
Yeah.
I feel like people need to know more about, you know, Haiti, their pride, their
Mm.
story, which is really powerful. Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So you mentioned about the fact that there is beauty within the chaos.
Yes.
Like, can you dig deeper into that a little more? Like, what is the beauty of Haiti that you see in the chaos?
Yes. Our
Mm.
culture is so beautiful, so unique.
Mm.
And what is so interesting about our culture is that it makes so many our culture is telling a story, you know, a
Right.
story of how we were enslaved for years, a story of how so many, it's a mixture of so many, cultures together. You see some European in our culture, like some food, when you Google them, oh, they do it in this place, oh, this place in Europe. It's like, but we make it different,
Mm,
or we have some Spanish history and Latinos. That's how we dance,
mm,
together. It's like each thing you can see a part of everything. From Africa, we got, voodooism, and
mm,
it's like it's a mixture of everything. For example, when I met some African friend here, and they tell me they eat with their hands some pounded stuff, and though it's not the same, but it's similar. It's so similar to a point you can relate, you can trace back your your
mm,
origin with
mhm,
your culture. So this, and the people,
mm,
how we have a community lifestyle where everybody is in everybody's business, but at the same time, they care about you. You can not have a neighbor and they don't know you. If
mhm.
something happened to you, they'll be there for you. Neighbors become family, that type of thing, where it's hard to find here in America, because everybody is just living the fast life and everybody's on their own.
Mhm.
So it's like those bit of pieces of everything that make it so unique to
Right.
me. Like, and the view, is the Caribbean. Come on.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's beautiful. And they don't show you that, they
Mhm.
show you the sad like part, so they can make money out of the country. And it's
Uh,
though it exists, but it's not just that,
mm, right. Yeah.
and yeah, in every I believe in every, society, in every, country, there's things that need to work on. And
Mm,
I don't disagree with that. I do believe there's a lot of work. We're far from being where we want to be, but there is a beauty in my country. And I feel like everybody should feel the same, because, or maybe not, depending on their, experiences, but where you come from, where you grew up, the memories you have there, that only in itself, it's deep. So
mhm.
that's why I love my country so much, because I've not been back for a long time.
Right.
So um, all I have now is some outfits, once in a while I try to cook some food, try to get it as similar as possible.
Mhm. Yeah.
But I hold on to those things really hard, because this is home.
Right, right.
Yeah.
And it's a part of who you are, right? Like
Yes.
it's all like I am Indian, and like it is nice to
Mm-hmm.
sort of hold that dear to me because that is part of who I am. Like,
Yes.
I can't walk around saying that, oh, well, this doesn't happen that much, but like a lot of the times you have people thinking that you're from different parts of the world, but then you have to sort of correct them and being like, no, I'm from here, and or I'm from India, for example. That it installs a sense of pride, I feel like, in the fact that, oh, I am from here, and the fact that not always, but that most of the time you are proud of the culture that you come from, um,
Yeah.
for the things that it offers to you. So yeah, you mentioned that there's a few memories that you have from your time there. Would you be willing to share a couple, like if you have any memories that really remind you of home?
Hmm. Okay. Yes. Let
Yeah.
me think.
Okay. Yeah, no worries, go for it. Yeah.
um. For example, there's a river by my house,
Mm.
and all the time my friends and I will go there, and we'll just be in the river. I'll go with a book and I'll read, and I'll see people washing their clothes outside. And it's when I was there, I never took my time, to soak it in, all those,
Mm.
beautiful, like just seeing children jumping up, down, it's so beautiful, it's so unique. But I never thought I never thought of it like that. For me, it was just normal. But for
Right.
now, when I look back, I was like, oh my God, I wish I could go back to that river right now and read a book and just have my feet in the water and just go with my dogs.
Mm-hmm.
It's so beautiful. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, those kind of memories, or just going out with my friends, and even when your parents are getting mad at you and you're in trouble, or when you gotta sneak in, sneak out.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you
Yeah.
can go, by the beach and buy, seafood, coconut water, and just enjoy it there and there. Like, so those kind of things, it's
Mm. Beautiful.
irreplaceable. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. That is
Mm-hmm.
really beautiful. The fact that you can like walk to a river close to your house,
Yeah.
yeah, that's I think that's awesome because I don't think a lot of people in this generation get that sort of experience, of being able to connect to nature in that sense. Like you're so
Yeah.
close to a river. That's really beautiful. That's really
I
awesome.
I remember climbing trees. Like,
Oh
for me,
wow.
I was a tomboy. Okay, I might not have a lot of strength,
Mm.
but I wanted to be so much like my brothers. So I'll just be climbing tree, grabbing that mango, and stay up there because I found a good one. So I don't want to share with anyone. Okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I'm gonna eat it up there.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
you know, trying to cut open a coconut, like, it's a skill, okay? It's not a
Mm-hmm.
skill everybody can have.
Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah.
Going up my house,
Mm-hmm.
like on top of the house, climbing to go on top and looking down and seeing everything.
Right.
It's something people don't go up their roof like this here.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so walking barefooted, like, nobody's business.
Mm,
It's amazing. You can feel the soil. You can just be one with nature. That's
right.
what I miss, because people are not connected to what they eat here, and that really butters me, because
Oh,
you
interesting.
go to the supermarket to buy everything. You don't
Mm-hmm.
know where it's coming from. I remember my cousin back in South Carolina, I talked to them, and they have an apple tree outside, and they'll prefer buy it instead of eating the one they have,
Oh,
because
wow. Okay.
it doesn't come out of the supermarket. And
Oh.
I've seen so many people feeling like this, because, oh, is it good? Are you sure you can eat that? I'm like, that's what you're actually buying. Okay. So
Mm,
that connection with earth and everything, produce and stuff, is like, it's I miss that because you knowing what you're eating and where they come from, it's so important.
mm,
So important. But people nowadays, and especially in America and stuff,
mm-hmm.
everything you buy it. It's rare people go to the farmers market or have their own garden.
Mm, mm,
So that's something I miss.
mm. It's not like it's plucked straight from nature. It's sort of manufactured in a way in the supermarket.
Yeah.
No,
And
yeah.
now you got to worry about pesticide and chemicals, wax on top of foods and stuff like that. Yeah.
Mm. Interesting. Wow.
It's
Okay. I didn't think of it that
mhm.
way, but the fact that you mention it now, yeah, like it really makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Because everything is so fast nowadays, like you said earlier, and it's just about like that convenience. So going to the
Yeah.
supermarket or like just sort of buying stuff that makes it a lot more convenient than taking care of a plant that will possibly give you fruit. But I do hear stories about where people who plant or people who sort of grow certain fruits or vegetables, it connects them to the ground, like you said,
Mhm.
which is really something we all miss uh, in the current generation that we live in, which is yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bouncing off of the stories that you mentioned about picking mangoes from the trees, um, maybe some of our audience members, or maybe most of them, know that you took part in the Mr. and Miss International pageant. Was it
Mhm.
2019? Yes, it was 2019. And you did this monologue where you spoke about your culture. And you mentioned like the juicy mangoes and many other things about your cultures, about your culture, which I'm sure like stuck with a lot of people over here because that was, and I remember
Yes.
someone saying like that was like one of the best monologues they've ever seen in their time, which is a huge praise. So I have two questions. The first one being, um, it felt like it came from somewhere deep. Like, how did that feel? Like, what was that experience like? Like sharing about Haiti through that monologue. What was that? What was that whole experience like for you? Talking about it.
It it was surreal.
Mm,
I I didn't even understand myself at that moment
mm,
because I always write, but I never share it. So
mm,
this was my first time sharing. And I think that's why people connect with it so much. Because at one point, I didn't care about my rehearsal and what I said there. I just dig deep into myself and reach out to those emotions. And you're talking to somebody that has not been home for a long time, has so much love inside of her heart for her country. So I was I was full of emotion that
mm.
night, and it was also my dad's birthday,
Oh wow.
and I
Okay.
missed him so much, and
Mm,
it was just a lot going on, and I wanted to make him proud. I wanted to just get, and it's like you have nothing to lose.
mm,
That's how I felt about the
mm,
pageant. you
mm,
you just got that chance to just show yourself, and to show that you can do something. You Because sometimes I lose my words, and you get shy just like that. But I just wanted to forget, and I was not even seeing anybody in the
mm,
audience. I was just in my own world. I got lost in my own world. So I was not really preoccupied by what people were saying or was looking like, because the lights is overwhelming anyway. So it's just being myself, and it was so genuine. And after that thing, I realized that people connect so well with genuine somebody that is genuine.
mm,
And when you're vulnerable, people want to see that, because it's not all the time. Because sometimes you're so scared to be vulnerable, you're so scared to let it go,
yeah.
but when you do, people feel it. And that's what
Mm,
I got from you know my monologue, because
mm,
I never thought it impacted people like this. And
mm,
when I got out, I was like, wait a second, is this person just recite this poem that I said just once?
mm,
It's kind of like, what is happening?
right.
But I learned a lot from it. I learned a lot about just being yourself.
Mm,
It's rewarding.
right.
Yeah.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that day, like, itself, like when you spoke and when you like did your monologue, like you said, like that vulnerability, I think was something that the judges saw and that like even audience members saw, which, like you said, is something that we find very difficult to do nowadays. We're not that vulnerable, and when you are, like, that helps you connect more with people, which is
Yeah.
yeah, which is like amazing in a lot of ways. I was gonna say, if I can, I'll find the video somewhere and I'll add it to this podcast towards the end, or I'll add it in the link so that people can get to see it. Because I think, like, if you're talking about it, you should see it. So
Right.
yeah, I'll try and find the
Thank
video
you.
if I can, and I'll attach it to this episode. Um,
Awesome.
speak.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, no problem. So you mentioned that you like doing spoken word, and this monologue was also, in a sense, it was a form of spoken word, wouldn't you say? Like that it
Yeah.
was. Yeah, so
Mm-hmm.
like, when did you start like learning about spoken word, or why do you feel like, or what attaches you to spoken word, if you will?
Um, I just see myself like I want to express myself.
Mm,
And that was one way for me,
mm,
like, to express myself. And I realized I liked it, because I usually write and I'll say it in my mind, and it sounds so good and I love it, but
mm.
I'll never like say it,
Right. You don't
It's more
share it.
like, right.
Yeah.
So after I did the page, it was more like, maybe, it's like,
Mm,
why not? I
yeah.
can express myself like this because art is expression. So I was like, yes, I love it. So yeah, that's why I started doing it, even though
Mm.
I'm not public, but on my own.
Yeah, yeah, no, totally. Because
Right,
I
right.
think words have the ability to connect to people on a different magnitude that we
Yes.
don't even think about sometimes. Like,
Yeah.
like you said, even about the negativity that people share on the news about your country, like even those are words that connect to people like negatively. Like they
And stick
associate.
to them.
Right, right, right. So words
Yeah.
do like have this heavy weight around them, and they can do good and bad depending on the words
Yeah.
that you use. Um,
Words are just powerful.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Very powerful. Yeah.
Very powerful. Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned earlier about your likes and your interests that modeling is something that you really like doing, and that's a way that you express yourself. Um, what is it about? Like, when did you first start modeling? Let's start there.
Um, how did I start?
Or what got you started? Like,
What
was it
got
something
me
that happened?
started?
Yeah.
I was so insecure when I was a teenager, so shy. And I never understood my worth and what you know, who I was. And because I was so blinded by what people say about me. Oh,
Mm,
you're too tall for a girl. Oh, why your hair look like that? Why did you get your mom hair? Um,
mm,
like I got so much things and people will say it, they might not even think it's hurting you, but it is,
mm, mm,
and when I go online and I look at models, they all look skinny, but I was like, I don't want to do it because I'm skinny. I don't want to do it because I'm tall. So I wanted, like, at first I struggled a lot because I didn't want to do it because I fit, a certain criteria to be a
right.
model.
Mm,
But then I realized I don't want to be in the modeling industry per se,
yeah.
but just at this point, I just do it for me. I do it,
Mm,
that's what I want to do. And not thinking too much about the fact, oh, people are saying you're pretty or you're this, I just do it because that's something that I like doing. And I got a lot of judgment at first from, so many people. Oh, modeling, it's kind of, really superficial. You're showing too much skin. I'm like, this is my life to live. And I'm going to live it the way I want to live it.
mm,
And you should respect that. And it's not for you to judge what is superficial, what is this, what is that. As long as I know why I'm doing it.
yeah.
And, everybody do things differently. And doing it made me understand that people tend to look so much in, just your
Surface.
appearance, surface. Sorry, they don't dig deep,
Mm-hmm.
knowing why you do it.
Right.
And just because I look a certain way, that doesn't mean I don't have no insecurities. I don't have things I'm dealing with. You know what I mean? And I do it because I'm a Black girl, and I want to show a Black girl that looks like me, because I know there's other that looks like me, with hair like me and stuff like this. I'm proud of my hair. I'm proud of, the way I am. And I just want to show it. And I don't think
Mm,
there's nothing wrong with that.
mm,
Um, so when you pass the stage of thinking too much about what people will think,
right.
that's when you gain your freedom and
Mm,
just being
beautiful.
you. Yeah, I do it because I love fashion. And I just, you love what you love, and there's
Right.
nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
And if you listen to people, you won't do what you love.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Totally. Like if you listen to the negative criticism that comes from it,
Right.
you're not gonna stick to it. You're gonna feel like what they're saying, their words sort of controlling what you do.
Yes.
which I think that's really amazing because, like you said, like a lot of the times we look at models and you just see sort of the exterior. You don't necessarily see the principles within or the motivations within that get them to do the things that they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is understandable. We all, look exterior first, but it's like taking your time
Mm,
to see
yeah.
after that,
Mm. Knowing that
Yeah.
there is more than just the exterior.
Yes, knowing more that yeah, you said
Yeah.
it right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So is it also one of the ways for you to express your culture? Because like you said, you like the way that you don't hesitate even though your hair is a certain way or that you look a certain way. Um, how does that play a huge role in sort of expressing your culture as a person?
Yes. So like I want to use, this platform that I'm creating to
Mm,
show, me. Like it's so like separate but intertwined,
right.
I want to show me, my personality, fashion, but I also want people to see this Haitian girl coming all the way from Haiti, like international, living by herself and just figuring out life. I hope I can portray, that,
Mm,
though I believe I'm a citizen of the world, but I just want to show my culture a bit pieces, every
mm,
time I can, to show this is a normal life of a Haitian girl. You
yeah.
can do this too. I can do it too. My hair, my afro, like I'm planning on showing more of that. And also not being defined by just my hair. So I'm
Mm,
working on that too. This is beautiful. I love it, but I can cut it anytime. I can do whatever. It's like I can be so much more. I can be, I
mm-hmm.
can be anything I want, and it's just life.
Yeah.
This year, one thing it took me time to realize what I want to do, like in my life. Like,
Mm,
every time you have New Year's resolution and stuff like that. This year was like, okay, 2020 was tough,
right.
So what will be, because I do believe it's something you need to think about,
Mm,
every year. It's like you're setting yourself back, and when I thought about it, I realized that I want to live my life like every day was my last,
mm,
and I want to live my life to the fullest. And I don't want to really care about what people are saying or like how, but just be yourself. And the
mm,
people want to see the beauty, they will see it. At the same time, other people won't see it, and it's okay too, you
yeah.
know?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, so my platform, I want to use it, to show my art, my express myself, in different ways. Can be this today, can be that tomorrow. Like I don't want to be, you know, portrait at that person. I want to feel like I can do anything I want if I put my mind into it.
Mm,
If I want to be, this today, I'm gonna, plan a photo shoot and do it and portrait this and this, because this is what's coming out of my heart, to show. That's what I'm gonna show. If I want to do something else, that's what I'm gonna show too.
yeah.
Not because, you know, it's like, oh, I need to show this because that's what people will like.
Mm.
I'm like, I'm showing this because that's what's coming out of my heart.
And
I
that's
want
what
to show
makes you
my
happy.
country. That's what makes you happy, you know?
Mm, mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really beautiful. That's really beautiful. You mentioned something that really got me interested, and I wanted to talk about it a little more. You said you believe that you're a person of the world, but you still feel like expressing your culture. What what makes you think, or what is the mindset associated with thinking that you're a person of this world?
That's a good question.
Thank you, thank you.
So I believe I'm a person of the world because I've learned so much by just coming here,
Mm,
you know, so much. And I've met so many people, different culture. And I'm seeing myself just oh, I like this from this culture. I like this. Oh, and and the fusion, it's so nice. Like when I think about it, I'm like, wow, if I was still back home, I wouldn't have learned all that.
Right.
So for me, that's why I'm so grateful for being here and being able to experience all of those things and meeting people from different cultures, learning new things. One thing I love doing is cooking. So when I cook now, you'll see me using this ingredients all the way from Korea. I'm gonna mix it up with some Indian spices, gram masala. I'm just gonna, mix everything together, and it's beautiful.
Yeah.
So that's why I feel like I am, from the world, not from just, I don't want to be just from that person. Yes, I love Haiti and this is where I come from, but I'm becoming more, I'm just a mixture of everything. And I just want to travel, experience new things, meeting new people, because the same way my culture is beautiful, I think every culture is beautiful. And just if you can embrace the beauty, you will live a life that is fulfilled, Yeah.
What do you think stops people from looking at it that way? Have you thought about that? I'm just curious to get your sort of
Yeah.
perspective. What is it that stops people from doing that?
So I'm thinking pride. Because when you're really prideful about where you come from, for you, you're the best. I'm the best and that's it. So sometimes people don't want to open up to other things because they just want to be like, and sometimes they're scared of losing their identity because it's a lot.
Yeah.
We're talking about identity, what makes you you.
Right.
So it's a scary thing to do. And me, I've realized that I was so stuck on trying to be that person. I'm from Haiti. I'm Haitian and I love this. I love this. I love this. That I didn't want to open. I went through that phase where I didn't want to open up. But then when I passed that scary, step and I opened up, I realized I still have my culture. I still can dance like a Haitian, but I still like my Afrobeat too. I still want to try new things. I still want to learn how to dance like, you guys, you are Bollywood dancing and stuff like this. I still want to learn that too. It doesn't change the fact that I'm Haitian and I can still dance my compa, okay?
Yeah.
I can dance my compa. So it's just understanding, just because you're learning about other people's culture and you're loving, embracing their culture too, it doesn't change the fact that you love your own, So that's what I've learned along the years that I've been here. Yeah. So I'm thinking maybe probably that's why people are so, protective of where they come from, because they don't want to lose it. Yeah. And the same times, I've seen people losing it because, they did not hold on to what they had. They just took other things, So
they wanted to try and be someone that they weren't, possibly.
Yes. So it's a balance.
Yeah.
It's not getting lost. It's scary. It's a risk you're taking. Yeah, but it's not impossible.
Yeah. The
What
fact that
about
you said.
What about you? What do you
No,
think?
I think with the fact that you said balance, I think that is something really important that I've realized in the year of our Lord 2020 is that balance is very important, be it whatever. Like, I think balance is the key to, I haven't lived life in its entirety to know that it's all of life, but for what I've lived so far, I think I've understood that balance is very important, like be it in the way that I express culture and accept others, or be it in terms of my fitness or whatever it is, like
Mm-hmm.
I've come to an understanding that balance is something that is really important, to sort of be in a happy place. Because I think a lot of the times we can get carried away by doing one thing that we forget that we need the other one too. And you have to sort of create that happy medium and balance it in some way. Because yeah, I think balance is very important, like um in many different ways, and specifically about feeling like I'm a person of the world. um I was actually listening to a podcast a few days back where a person was talking about this. That person is Vishen Lakhiani, who's the founder of Mind Valley. I'll
Mm-hmm.
link that podcast below if anybody is interested. But yeah, so basically, he was talking about how he zooms out of looking at it as, oh, I'm an Indian, or oh, my wife is Estonian, or I don't know if she's Estonian, but like, for example, like he zooms out and looks at it as if I'm a person of this world. um I'm forgetting the word that he used. I think it was something like ah cosmo. I mean, I can't remember.
Mm.
He used a word that really stuck with me that day. I was like, oh wow, that's really interesting to look at it that way, because like you said, it is something that we learn. Like, and I think an experience like this, where we've gotten this opportunity to move away from home and sort of experience different cultures by meeting different people, there's a lot of things that you can learn from these people that sort of makes you think that, oh, the world is giving me all of this. And
Mm-hmm.
like you said, India is probably like 50% or 60% of who I am, but there's a lot that the world offers to me that I can learn and that I can use and that I can try to sort of
Be open to
manifest,
it.
be open to it, right? Exactly, like, and manifest into this world in the ways that I do things. And yeah, I think that's probably a beautiful place to be in, to be able to see that. I don't think I'm there yet, but the fact that you've mentioned this, and I think it's really beautiful in a way, like to think about it, even if you're not there in a zone mentally, because like you said, it took you that progression to get there.
Yeah, it's a
um,
work in progress, you know.
yeah.
It's, I mean, and it's challenging too, because it's not like you will be like, oh, I'm open. It's like I think it's a lifetime situation where you are put in front of that, situation. You're like, okay, I'm just gonna try to be open to it, not. And sometimes, it's not for you. It's not for you, but
Yeah.
even with respecting other people's culture,
Mm,
you know
yeah.
sometimes you don't want to embrace something, you live beyond. So but it's like, I respect it.
Mm,
It's like your mindset towards things that would change progressively.
right. Right. Yeah. It's more about respecting and accepting the differences
Yes.
that we share, and sort of
Yes.
rejoicing those differences, because we can get
Hmm.
we can get very caught up in the different we can get quite caught up in the differences.
Yes, because you'll be like, I don't understand. Why would you do that? Why would they
Mm,
do that in that culture? Why? Because I first, that's how I struggled. Like,
mm,
why would they do that? Why? It's like, but though you don't understand it now, or you might never understand it, it is somebody's culture. You got to respect it. You know what I mean?
yeah.
But then you realize they have other stuff that are beautiful from their culture. It's like, yes, I love this. I love this. I love this. I love this. So it's like, it's the same thing for religion for me too. Because I was
Mm,
so stuck up. It's like,
mm-hmm.
I'm Christian. That's all I know. Hallelujah. It's like,
Yeah.
bam, mm-mm. But learning, oh, this person is Muslim. This person is this, is that. And it's okay too. This their decision, this is their life. And accepting that, and being open to be friends with everyone and just not, oh, he's not Christian, I can't be his friend. That type of.
Yeah. Yeah.
Trust me. If you know where I come from, that could have been my story. But
Right.
it's just learning to embrace
Mm,
everything and just be human.
mm,
Because at the end of the day, our skin color, the way we look like, we still are made of bones, and The
Mm.
same when we study biology or anatomy, they still say the same bones for everybody.
Very true.
Yeah,
Very true.
yeah,
And I think
yeah.
it's not something that can change in a day. Like, for example, like you said,
No.
you question things. You're like, why do they do it? I think mentally, initially, like to jump that hurdle, it's okay to question it as long as you're like, oh, maybe it's just something I don't understand, like you said. And that is fine.
Hmm.
Like, it's okay if you don't understand why they're doing what they're doing. It's just part of who they are. Like, I think it takes time to sort of switch that way. And I definitely have sort of felt that in this progression of being here, um, from like 2016 December to like January 2021. I've definitely seen that growth in myself too, to go back and answer your question. Because a lot of the times I used to question why people did some things a certain way. Like, for example, when it came to work, I've worked with people from different parts of the world. And that's something that coming here has like given me that opportunity to be able to work with different people and see how they
Hmm.
work. And a lot of the times, like, it would put me off the fact that people would like do things differently. But then over time, I understood that look, this is the way that they are able to work the best. Um, yes, you need to have certain principles that you can all live by and work by or work for, but the way they do it is going to be
Will
their
be
way,
different.
right? And that is their way of doing it. Like, because even if the destination is the same, there's many different paths you can take to that destination. So,
Hmm.
understanding that has been a part of this journey for me, staying here to go back to answering your question. So I've sort of noticed that progression too. And yeah, I don't know if I'm all the way there yet, but I certainly know that I'm way, not to toot my own horn, but I've certainly gotten better in seeing
You're
that.
working on it.
Right, I'm working on it. I've gotten better at it than 2016 Prateek. So yeah, thank you for asking that question though. I think it brought up something really interesting that
Right.
yeah. um, Transitioning into, you mentioned about studying biology and so on and so forth. You mentioned that you're a nutrition major and that's what brought you here. What is it about nutrition that you want to learn more about it? Like, what interested you about nutrition?
First, I'm always in the kitchen.
Right.
I'm always cooking for my friends. It makes me happy. When I was back home, I learned a lot from my mom. For me, cooking, the same with dishes, washing dishes is therapeutic. Cooking for me is art.
Mm.
And it's therapeutic. It's like my zone. I
Right.
don't need nobody's help. I'm just gonna plan this whole party. I'm gonna like leave it to Cassie. Everybody leave it
Mm.
to Cassie, that type of thing. So I really enjoy doing it. And
Mm.
I was really intrigued by food. And I personally um, struggle with nutrition
Mm.
because I'm really anemic a lot and I get sick a lot,
Mm.
and people don't see that because, you try to cover it up. But,
It's
last
behind a
year
wall.
was,
Yeah.
yeah, last year was really like, hard. And the
Mm.
years before too, always in the hospital, always going through testing, what's wrong, what's this, what's that. And it always come back to you're missing this, you're missing that, you're missing that, and trying to figure it. Like people can go and not eat like and eat noodles. I can't.
Mm.
Because
Mm.
I will have repercussion later on and I will,
Right.
it will hurt me. So
Mm.
I have to be really careful about what I eat and stuff like that. So yeah, I was always a sick child dealing with, nutrition. Like it's really like, focus on nutrition things. So
Mm.
that really inspired me to go into nutrition because I wanted to figure out what's wrong,
Yeah.
how to help myself.
Right.
And at first I was trying to be a nurse, okay?
Mm. Yeah.
Because, I used to care for my grandma, my dad. So I thought I could be a nurse. But then I realized blood is not really my
Mm-hmm.
perfect.
Mm,
Like I don't really like dealing with blood and people getting
right.
sick all the time and seeing
Mm,
them, in a hospital bed all the time. So I I wanted to do it because my mom wanted me to do it or my family wanted me to do it. But and they were not forcing me, but I used to be such a people pleaser
mm,
because I wanted to do it to make them happy.
yeah.
But then after 2 years trying to figure it out, I was like, no. And then I got into looking into other majors and stuff. And then I saw nutrition. It was like a click,
Yeah.
you know? And I realized this is what I wanted to do. My grandma died with diabetes, and my aunt has diabetes, and I want to help them out. And I realized everything is related to nutrition.
Mm,
Some might be more obvious. Like me, it's obvious, but cancer, when they're dealing with cancer or any kidney diseases, you still have to manage nutrition. So food is the base.
mm,
What you put in your body is how you take care of your body. It's so important. So I just grew that love for nutrition that I wanted to learn more about it. Yeah.
mm, mm. Wow, that's
Mm-hmm.
interesting. So, because a lot of the times, it's the curiosity, right? Like it's the
Yes.
curiosity about learning about it and trying to understand and resolve it yourself. So that's really cool that you were able to sort of discover nutrition as a way for you to do that. That's really
Mm-hmm.
cool. What are some things that you like about studying nutrition, and what are some of the things that you don't like about studying nutrition?
I love, I'm going to start with what I love
Okay,
first.
go for it by all means.
I love the community. It's so small and we all
Mm,
know each other, and we help each other out. It's a lot to do.
right.
And for the dietetic part, it's a lot of, they makes you interact with other people, interns, and so
Mm,
that you know how you're going to deal with patients when you have patients. It's like psychology but for food. You're
yeah.
helping them figure it out.
Mm,
um Working with, you know you're going to work with doctors, nurses. It's like you're trying to give that patient that holistic type of, you know um uh, way to look at life. It's not only taking the medicine, but taking care of your what you're putting inside of your body, knowing
yeah.
what you be aware of. Because sometimes people eat something, they will eat, they wouldn't even remember what they ate that
Yeah.
day. So trying to make them be more aware of what they're putting in their body.
Mm,
So I like that social part, that interacting part of my major. Also, I'm doing research. I
right.
love that because it helps me, open up to more ideas, like develop my brain in a way. I'm learning about this, that, and it's like being able to, this semester I'm going to, do like a, how do you call it,
A presentation.
a presentation about it.
Mm-hmm.
And just, I'm gonna be very proud of it because it's like what I've been working on, researching on for
Yeah.
1 year. So it's important. And
Mm,
yeah, I love, the other part of it where I get to cook and to do new things. So nutrition, when people hear nutrition, sometimes they think it's only cooking, but it's so much more that comes into it.
mm,
So I'm so excited about those things, but
mm.
I'm not too much. Well, oh my god,
Where do you start?
where do I start?
Fair enough. Yeah.
Let me not use heavy words. I'll say I dislike,
Mm-hmm.
you know, certain things like, actually, I don't really dislike a lot of things. I just think some classes are more challenging,
Right.
and sometimes I find it hard to relate it to my major.
Mm.
So that's where I struggle. That's where I struggle with. But then I realize it's the system, so I'm just gonna go with the flow, so I can get what I want. But yeah, so some classes can be challenging, I would say, but I love when they make me study about accounting. I did
Mm.
accounting, marketing. So if I want to, open my business and market my products, it's something that I can do too. Yeah, but the chemistry part of it, it's a question.
Yeah.
Right. But then again, it's a bachelor in science. So it comes with all that. So yeah.
There's two sides to
Hmm.
the coin. There's the good and the bad,
Yes.
and you have to deal with it
Yes.
both. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Um, you mentioned something about a holistic way of approaching the way that you eat. And it reminded me of something you said initially when we started this conversation about connecting to the ground and eating things that grow from your plants. Like, considering the fact that you've taken nutrition as a way for you to further your career, have you looked at the possibility of incorporating that principle of connecting to the ground and being able to have direct access to food and connecting that with nutrition? Like, is that something that's crossed your mind, or have you thought about that, or what is it about, like, connecting those two together?
Definitely. I've
Mm.
looked into it,
Mm.
and yeah, I've been a part of this group on campus. Oh my God, sustainability on campus, I
Mm-hmm.
think. And going there,
Okay.
and like we had like we they planted, what was it, green peppers and stuff like this, and
Mm.
we had the chance to get it from ground and like cook with it. So I really love just connecting with food, and that was something that really was part of my interest, like food, fruits and vegetables,
Right.
because the fast food industry is killing us
Mm.
here. And it's like people don't know real fruits anymore. So
Mm.
yes, and I was so happy I could connect the dots, and I could connect all this into nutrition. It's really nice, and I really appreciated the fact that I could do that here. And I remember, was it 2 semesters ago, and we had that thing. It was like the march on campus, real food. We were like, and I had the opportunity to talk that day about real food. And I also talked about the fact that I'm Haitian, and how I grew up with real fruits and vegetables, and how people are losing that connection with food. So
Mm.
yeah, so in my cooking, I use more vegetables, fruits, and stuff that are from the ground up, instead of buying stuff that are man-made, because it's a lot of things that are man-made now. Yeah.
A lot of chemicals, a lot of things that,
Chemicals.
yeah.
And then I don't know, but I feel like it's related, to all those diseases and stuff that are coming
Mm.
into place. Yeah. So it's something that I'm really passionate about. I love
Mm.
food, but I want that connection. I want that nature feel of
Mm.
it. Hmm.
Yeah, you want to be able to connect to what you're eating.
Yes, back to
Mm.
square one, where it all started. You
Mm.
know.
Because, yeah,
Hmm.
like, we all go down back into the ground, so, like,
Yeah.
there is that connection with the ground in some way. So yeah, I find that really interesting because, like you said, like, I mean, I'm not saying in any way that I'm holier than thou and that I don't eat fast food or anything like that. I do, but
We all do.
we all do. Like we're guilty. We're guilty.
Yes, guilty.
We're guilty. But I think like discovering these options and these sort of and the fact that there's a lot more to nutrition than what meets the eye, I think is really interesting. Like how you said, you want to be able to like connect the dots and sort of take that forward. I think when you connect those dots, like there is a sort of light bulb that glows in your head that just makes you realize, oh wow, I've never really thought about it that way. So yeah, it's really cool. It's really cool that you are able to sort of connect in that way.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I really like the fact that I could get to that point. Sorry, where I can, because that was something that I like, but I never thought I could connect it, like that. But realizing, oh, this is what I like, but it goes with what I'm studying, and it's intertwined. So I like that about my major. It's so diverse and
Right.
so one at the same time. Yeah.
Cool. That's really cool. Anyway, we're going to transition into like the last third of the podcast, where I'm going to do this segment called Bish Bash Bosh. If you don't know that already, for the audience members and for you, it's a segment where I give the guests 5 words, and these 5 words are the same that I'm going to be giving to all the guests. And I want you to respond in 3 words or 3 phrases. Like, for example, if I was to say, Haiti, what are the 3 words that come to your mind? So, like, that's sort of the way that this is going to go. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Bish Bash Bosh.
Yes. I've explained the reasoning behind the name and everything on the Instagram page. So if you aren't already, head on over to Random Relatability on Instagram and check those posts out. But
Yes.
yeah, without further ado, heading into the segment, the first word is differences. What do you think about? Like the 3 things that you think about when I say the word differences?
Differences. Uniqueness. We talked about it. Accepting our differences, and open-minded. Open-mindedness, like just opening to know. Well, that's acceptance. So another word. Let's say, I will say differences. Possibilities.
Oh, okay. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. The second word is nuances. What comes to your mind when I say the word nuance?
Nuance.
No worries. No worries.
Is it hard for everybody, or is it only me struggling?
No, it's happened a couple of times, but no, it's no worries. Take your time. But usually, if it's like, you can tell me the first thing that comes to your mind when I say the word.
Oh, the first thing.
Yeah, it doesn't. You don't have to think too hard about it. If it's something that comes to your mind first, go for it. Say it out loud.
Okay, nuances. Nothing is coming to my mind.
Do you think earlier we talked about feeling like a person of the world? How do you think that nuance plays into that? Like, I think that's one way of being able to see nuance.
Yeah, I do think that, but so nuances is like different ways to live your life, things is not always a one-way street, it's always I've learned something. It's not always black and white,
Right.
It's always,
Right.
There's different ways to do the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
and fair. Yeah, nuances is more when we call about cultures too,
Mm,
it's how they are unique. And but at the same time, there's a way you could always relate.
right.
So yeah.
Cool. The third word is learning. What comes to your mind when I say the word learning? Excuse me.
The first thing that came to my mind was school.
That's where we learn. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
School, culture,
Mm-hmm.
and people, conversations,
Mm.
a podcast. We're
Yeah.
learning, yeah.
Yeah. For sure. For sure. For sure. I agree.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
agree. Yeah. The fourth word is empathy. What comes to your mind when I say the word empathy?
Well, empathy for me is sometimes okay. The first word that came to my mind was, there's empathy, there's sympathy. So
Mm. Yeah.
how they're so different, I can
Mm.
sympathize with you, but I don't empathize.
Mm.
So empathy is deeper for me, I feel like, than sympathy.
Mm.
Because you connect with the person, you understand the person's struggle,
Yeah.
understanding, connecting, feeling.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I feel like for empathy.
Cool. That's beautiful. And the last word for this segment is similarities.
Beautiful. That's the first word.
Awesome.
Similarities is beautiful. You should embrace them. You
Mm-hmm.
should, I look for similarities. So I'll look for them.
Mm.
How are we similar?
Right. Yeah.
I want to know.
Yeah.
Let's have a conversation. Let's learn about each other. So yeah.
Mm. Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. I like the fact that you mentioned that because we've ended this segment of Bish Bash Bosh, but the next question is about that. Is about how do you how do you think you find ways to relate to people, or what are some things that you do personally to be able to relate to people?
So it's just by being myself,
Mm.
being your authentic self, and you meet friends. This friend is different. This one is different. For some reason, something that's make that connection is that thing that are similar. Those
Mm-hmm.
things we have in common. So what I do with my friend, this friend, is will be different with what we connect with this friend. So
Right.
once you realize that similarity between people, you respect the person, we respect each other, and we know what we can or cannot do,
Right.
so we can connect with each other and, have fun, be happy,
Mm.
knowing what we like or what we don't like or what we do or what we don't do, and respecting boundaries and stuff. That's for me what makes relationships.
Right.
So once you know your friends, once you know who you're dealing with, and they know you too because you've been showing who you are, you're like, yes, that's Cassie. I know Cassie can do
Mm.
that. Ooh, that's Cassie.
Right.
Like my friends, they know what I can and cannot do, so it's like, yourself and you let it, you let other people know this is
Mm.
who I am,
Yeah.
but you let them also know that I know who you are.
Right.
Okay, so if I'm going to the club, I'll probably
Mm.
not call a certain person to
Right.
go with me because I know that's not what they like to do. But if
Mm.
I'm going to a poetry night, I know who to call. Let's go together. Let's do this
Right.
together. It's like knowing who you are
Mm-hmm.
and knowing what other people like or who they are too,
Yeah.
it's important. So similarities are beautiful
Mm-hmm.
as much as differences are too.
Right. And that's your way of being able to relate to people. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's really awesome. Like I think like you said, like that's been the common theme with everybody that I've spoken to so far is about being able to see the differences but connecting to those differences in a way. So yeah, I appreciate the fact
Yeah.
that you said that. To close us off, the last question of this episode is, well, it's not really a question. I guess I should stop saying that it's a question, but it's more of a request. So leave the people with a positive thought or something beautiful about Haiti or something just positive in general to close us off. Just leave us with a positive thought. It can be anything.
I wish you guys could experience Carnival in Haiti
Mhm.
and see the colors. Because when it's Carnival, we put all the culture out, everything, the good, the ugly, everything.
Mm.
And it comes out so beautiful. And it's something that I would want, my friends to experience, to come and to go and have fun outdoors with
Yeah.
nature and just experience my culture. Haiti is beautiful. Don't let social media or the media tell you
Mm.
otherwise.
Mm.
Like, see the way I smile just thinking about my country.
Right.
This is
Yeah.
how beautiful it is. So
Yeah.
take it from me, take my words.
Mhm.
It is beautiful, and this is one of the most important things is appreciate where you come from.
Mm.
Everybody appreciate where you come from, love it no matter what, and others will see it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. For sure. And on that note, thank you so much, Cassie, for coming on. I really appreciate you taking the time off to do this. And thank you so much to everybody who's listening and watching. We will see you guys next time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hello again, it's me. Um, so I made a bit of a mistake and forgot to add something onto this episode that I initially planned on doing. So I'm gonna fix it into this section right here. That thing is the monologue that we spoke about on this episode. Cassie did a great job with the monologue, probably one of the best ones that I've seen, where she just brought her country to life in on a stage in Oklahoma, and I wanted everybody to get a chance to see it or listen to it. So like I said, I'm gonna edit that into this section of the podcast. So please listen to it. Thank you. This is the voice of my people, strong, echoing, full of possibilities. Nous c'est oiseaux, ou maintenant plié, nous pas casser. When some people think about my country, all they can see is misery, earthquakes, natural disasters. But tonight, I am Haiti. I am a nation whose life has been dimmed, but not switched up. As I stand tall, I am the representation of my country's freedom. For years, my ancestors has fought for us, and we became the first Black country to earn our independence in 1804. Africa, we have lost a lot, but gained so much more. I am so proud to be Caribbean. My rice, my plantain, my yam, my juicy mango, and the sea. I can never be away for too long. I am Haitian and proud. I carry my flag high. And if you see the sparkles in my eyes, it is just the love. Thank you. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Perspective Platoon with Prateek. Make sure to follow Cassie on her social media accounts and mention in the comment section below some of the things that you found interesting or intriguing about the conversation today. Make sure to also check the description box below for other sources of content and information that we've spoken about today. Like this video, share it around, and subscribe to the channel and follow Random Relatability on all social media platforms. Once again, if you've watched this episode in its entirety, thank you so very much for doing so. I really appreciate you joining in on the conversation. Until next time, stay safe, take care, and don't forget to keep your mind open to different perspectives, because you never know, random relatability might just be around the corner.